You worked with a lot of presidents. Now, briefly, just tell me about the leadership styles of Mr. Pawar, Mr. Manohar, Jaguda, and NS.
But for them, they wouldn't have been able to sell media rights. Uh, they took up the challenge of Prasar Bharati in the courts, and when the Supreme Court decision was finally announced, saying that all cricket that is played in India is the authority of BCCI, and Prasar Bharati has to also file its own tenders if it wants to telecast matches. That one decision changed the face of Indian cricket so far as monetary strength is concerned. Today, it may have started with a small sum, but it has grown over the years because of that independence we got through that Supreme Court decision. According to me, Mr. Dalmia, as the president, did a lot, and he was somebody who would take decisions, whether right or wrong, and stood for that. Mr. Pawar had, being a politician of high standing, he had his own way of tackling issues, as I told you about, whether it is women's cricket, whether it is the pension for retired cricketers and umpires, uh, and the starting of IPL. I will full credit goes to him because, but for his insistence, a lot many of these decisions would have happened. And uh, Mr. Srinivasan brought in a lot of corporate activity in the BCCI. Accountability. He used to be hands-on, and he is one administrator who is different from all others because he was connected with cricket at the grassroots level. And he exactly knew what the problems of cricketers were. He had been nurturing a lot of junior cricketers, employing cricketers in his company. So, and looking after his own state association. He brought that rich knowledge of all this when he came to BCCI. And his decisions, I would say, were important when it came to dealing with cricketers and the problems. And one such decision, which really, which I really appreciated, was the one-time benefit for the cricketers when he was the president. Shashank Manohar, in his own way, was a person who was committed to development of Indian cricket. Uh, but somehow something which struck me over the years that I worked in BCCI, which you would be interested in knowing, is that no two office bearers remain together over a period of time. Whether it was starting with Jagmohan Dalmiya and Bindra, they split. Bindra went with Mr. Pawar, Shashank Manohar, Sreenivasan. That went off. Mr. Pawar and Shashank Manohar were not on the same page at one election. And finally, Shashank Manohar and Srinivasan were not on the same page later on.